Well, Louisiana is the 28th state with constitutional carry. Our Governor Jeff Landry signed a bill for Louisiana to have constitutional carry, permitless carry. And the Democrats in New Orleans are whining about it, saying, I have fought for my rights, I have reported them, and first I saw this on the news.
And first at 10, there can be some major changes to high traffic areas in New Orleans as a new bill wants to create gun-free zones.
It's all in response to the permitless concealed carry bill awaiting the governor's signature. New tonight, WGSU reporter Jonah Gilmore live at 10. Jonah, people in the French Quarter call it a good thing, but businesses on the outskirts say they feel forgotten.
Gina Sella, I spoke to people that live and work in the French Quarter. They tell me that safety is key with so many people crowding the streets nightly, but businesses just blocks away along Frenchmen Street say that safety should extend to their area. In response to the permitless carry bill heading to Governor Jeff Landry's desk, Representative Alonzo Knox filed an exemption that would create a gun-free zone in New Orleans.
I think it's something definitely worth considering.
The gun-free zone will include the French Quarter, Downtown Development District, and the Ernest and Morial Convention Center.
We all want the city to be safer. We want the quarter to be safer. So anything that we can do to improve public safety.
Chris Ross has been advocating for a gun-free zone for the quarter after his friend Spencer Husson, a bartender at Cat's Meow, was killed by a straight bullet in 2022.
I'm all about gun rights. You have the right to bear arms. That's not a problem. But I think in certain areas at certain times there needs to be restrictions on that.
Just 2 blocks from the French Quarter is Frenchmen Street. The popular strip is usually packed with people, has its share of crime, but it's not included in the exemption.
Frenchmen Street has often been ignored as far as regulations forever. So that's not a surprise that they would ignore it now.
According to the City of New Orleans Calls for Service data, in 2023, there were nearly a dozen assaults with weapons along Frenchman's Entertainment Strip.
I mean, it sounds like they didn't really think about it very much.
Ross, who supports the exemption, says it's a smart move, but the safety of the entire city is vital.
You know, we're not looking to just protect the French Quarter, we're looking to protect the entire city of New Orleans.
Representative Knox tells me they only included those 3 areas because they are compact, dense, and is where law enforcement confiscated 111 guns during Mardi Gras. We're live in downtown New Orleans. Jonah Gilmore, WDSU News.
Well, right after that was on the news, I had met our Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry and lawmakers, and I reported that to the lawmakers and our governor. I made sure they had heard about that. They said they never heard about it. I made sure I reported it the very next day with the governor. Here you go. Excuse me, Jeff Landry. Today I've been sending you pictures and stuff of me, and I've been trying to call you. They have some bills that I want to see if you can sign that too. Laws here in the city. They trying to make this city a gun-free zone. These crazy Democrats. Just so criminals can have easy targets.
Well, I tell you, see that gentleman right there, that tall-looking, nice-looking fella. You give him that list.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying, can you see about this? I'm saying that they can do something about this. Here in the city, they trying to make the city a gun-free zone so criminals can have easy targets. They trying to make the whole city a gun-free zone.
Really? Who's that?
Now, and
Cantrell?
Yeah, and I said this, they trying to do that so they can blame Jeff Landry.
They're doing it so they can blame him?
Yeah, they trying to make more let criminals have easy targets.
Yeah.
So then they're gonna blame him. And I want to see if they could make this be a law too. If someone break into your car, but they say don't do nothing to someone break into your car. You gotta let them break in your car. Don't do nothing to them. They say.
Yeah.
I said that sounds crazy.
Well, that's what we're changing right now. All that stuff. But I hear you.
You gave me your information?
My name and stuff?
Yeah, give him your name and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. Just pass on the information to him. That way the governor can look into it.
My name's Joshua Gus.
Joshua what?
Joshua, Joshua.
What's that? You got a body camera?
Yeah.
I don't blame you around this city, huh?
I carry everywhere I go.
Do you?
Well, after I reported that to the governor, about 2 days later, I went to New Orleans City Hall and told the people of New Orleans who were trying to make it a gun-free zone that they ain't gonna make New Orleans a gun-free shit. It's not gonna work. I told them I reported it to the governor and it's not gonna work.
One speaker, you guys had mentioned constitutional carry. Mr. Joshua Gus.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Gus. Good morning, sir. Yeah, Mr. Gus.
We now have constitutional carry in the state of Louisiana, and the Democrats are whining about it, saying that it won't help and it'll make crime get worse. They have 29 other states with constitutional carry, and their crime rates got better, not worse. So what makes you Democrats think it'll make crime get worse in this state? Anyway, you Dems had your chances for 8 years with John Bell Edwards to try and get Louisiana safer. But y'all had Louisiana as the state with the highest crime rates. Now it's Jeff Landry and the Republicans' turn to try to get this state safe. Why should anyone listen to you Dems about what will and what won't work to get Louisiana safe after you had your chances with John Bell Edwards and had the state with the highest crime rate? And no matter what you Dems think you are going to do, but you are not going to make downtown New Orleans a gun-free I had made sure that got reported to the governor. You think you're slick. 98% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones, and that's what you Dems want to make happen here. You want us law-abiding citizens to be sitting ducks and let criminals have easy, soft targets on us so they can fit your narrative. And then you'll blame the gun and Jeff Landry for the crime, but you never blame the criminal. Like y'all love crimes and support the criminals because it helps fit your narrative. And after you blame the gun, you tell the criminals thank you. Now you can go back on the street. It wasn't your fault, it was the gun's fault. And if you want us to become sitting ducks and think they'll keep us safe, why don't you first get rid of your personal armed security and officers who are following you everywhere, and you'll become a sitting duck. That'll keep you safe. My name is Joshua Gus, and I am a proud member of the NRA.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gus. Any online comments?
WGNO News. I'm Susan Roschen.
And I'm Kurt Sprang. New Orleans leaders are trying to persuade state lawmakers that New Orleans needs gun-free zones.
And it's a hard sell since the state legislature just voted to allow more people to carry a concealed gun. WGNO's Mallory Smith is here to tell us what's happening in Baton Rouge. Mallory.
Yeah, well, Kurt, Susie, NOPD Deputy Superintendent Nicholas Gurnan testified today during the House Committee on Administration of Criminal Justice meeting. He was talking about the challenges that officers will face in policing after the permitless concealed carry law goes into effect. Also there advocating for the new legislation was New Orleans Council President Helena Moreno.
Two bills centered around creating gun-free zones were discussed at length by lawmakers. New Orleans Councilwoman Helena Moreno traveling to the state capitol to advocate for one of those bills, along with NOPD Deputy Superintendent Nicholas Gurnan.
We certainly support this bill. Our chief supports this bill. The city council supports this bill.
The bill, by Representative Alonzo Knox, would ban guns in entertainment districts like the Front Quarter, but that's not all.
It speaks to entities or municipalities that have a major sports arena that can have a capacity of 75,000 people. It also speaks to an area that has an annual 15 million visitors.
Chief Gurnan testified on behalf of all officers worried about how the permitless concealed carry law going into effect this summer will impact policing.
Mardi Gras season this past year, 111 guns were seized during these carnival celebrations. And most of these seizures just would not have occurred under the new permitless carry law.
But opposers argue gun-free zones are even less safe.
I just don't know that this creating or expanding more of the firearm-free zones is going to do what we all want.
Let's designate I-10 as a car-free zone so we can stop DUIs. Gun ban zones violate the Second Amendment, and they are dangerous for law-abiding citizens. All this does is attract criminals to attack people who they know are defenseless because of the government.
The bill was voluntarily deferred after Moreno and Knox decided to address certain concerns with State Senator Kirk Talbot.
we're wondering if we could have an opportunity to get with Senator Talbot and kind of work through some of these particular issues and work through the reciprocity issue with the concealed carry permit and try to get things in better shape.
Senator Talbot has also proposed a similar bill on gun-free zones that would require a permit to carry concealed in the French Quarter. But that bill was not discussed in the committee meeting. Another bill that was discussed during today's meeting by Representative Amy Adado Freeman would establish school zones, child care centers, and nursing facilities, just to name a few, as gun-free areas. But that garnered little support.
5 yeas, 8 nays. Thank you, committee.
And those two bills came in response after the legislature approved the permitless concealed carry of firearms earlier this year, and that takes effect in July.
So it looks like New Orleans, they're going to have to try again on this, and they probably will. Thanks, Mallory.
See, it didn't work. Then right after that was on the news, I had went to the New Orleans City Hall again and had a meeting right in front of our police chief and those people in New Orleans who trying to make it a gun-free zone, and I had told them, nice try. It didn't work. Hi, nice try, y'all. I was here on March 11 at the criminal justice meeting, and where I told you Democrats that y'all were not going to make New Orleans a gun-free shit. What part of shall not be infringed you left-wingers don't understand? Those on the left tried their BS out in parts of New York and California, and both state governors' gun-free zone laws got blocked by the U.S. Supreme Court as an unconstitutional law. So I don't know what made you SOBs on the left think that you could do that shit here in New Orleans. Our great Governor Jeff Landry did his job and blocked it without even reaching the U.S. Supreme Court. The United States Constitution doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread by you stupid Democrats. If you don't like the U.S. Constitution, then get the hell out of the United States and move to another country. Because you're not going to take away our constitutional rights here. That's the same shit that might be working in New York and California, but it's not going to work here. Yes, you devil Democrats need to stop taking away our amendment rights. Yes, I say it devils, because the right to bear arms is not only part of the U.S. Constitution, but it's also part of our God-given rights as well. And anything that the Bible tells us to do, you devils tell us not to do it. Anything the Bible tells us not to do, you devils tell us to do it. Now you Dems are trying a new bill that will make us need a permit to carry here in New Orleans, unlike the rest of Louisiana. Well, if you want us to have a permit to carry here in New Orleans, unlike the rest of the state, why don't you use New Orleans tax money for our permits and training, just like how the city tax money is used for your personal arm protection? Even though you Democrats don't deserve personal arm protection because you're trying to take our protection away. And if you can't use tax money, well, we'll have the same rights like the rest of Louisiana as the constitutional carry. Would you expect us to run? Come on, New Orleans, wake up and get involved when these devils try to take away your constitutional rights.
Thank you, Mr. Gott.
Well, they had tried again on it. They tried to be slick, because in Louisiana, you can't have a gun within 1,000 feet of a school. So they tried to make a police station a school too, and say you can't be within 1,000 feet of this police station. It's a school now. So we're gonna make this area a gun-free zone. This was on the news.
New Orleans leaders concerned over the state's new permitless carry law find a way to use existing laws to create a gun-free zone in the French Quarter.
Chris Welty explains the strategy and changes coming to the NOPD's Royal Street Station.
The NOPD will now use a portion of its Royal Street Station as an extension of its police academy to host classroom training. This means the area within 1,000 feet of the station will become a firearm-free zone because under state law, you can't carry a gun near a school.
We were unsuccessful at Baton Rouge, then we didn't stop. We looked for other pathways, and so it was a collective approach to finding that pathway.
The radius includes Canal to Toulouse, Bourbon, Royal, and Charter Street. The NOPD, along with the District Attorney's Office and New Orleans City Council President Helena Moreno, collaborated after failing to persuade legislators to pass a carve-out to the permitless carry law.
Guns and crops don't mix. Guns and alcohol don't mix. Don't bring your gun to the French Quarter. Leave it to the fine women and men of the NOPD to protect you.
And the reason why we were focused on the French Quarter is because we worry that when there is a shot fired, several shots fired, Because of the density of these crowds, you have the possibility for many people to get injured or killed.
Several French Quarter employees are optimistic this new zoning will keep them safe.
I see how we have to try to get around Landry, but you know, let's hope it works.
We need to try to do everything we can in our power to make this a safe city and able for our tourists to enjoy themselves when they come and feel safe.
The NOPD is working on permits, and once approved, signs will be installed and the city's gun-free zone map will be updated.
We have tremendous pride in the French Quarter. It's a jewel of New Orleans. We need to protect that.
The state's permitless carry law goes into effect on July 4th, but not until August 1st in New Orleans, when an existing ordinance expires. Chris Buttsy, Fox 8 Local First.
Now, after I saw that on the news, I made sure I reported that to our Attorney General Liz Merle. I had sent her this email the very next day I saw that on the news on June 30th. This is what I sent her. And I sent her this picture. How is it illegal? You can't make a police station a gun-free zone. How is it illegal? You can't make a police station a school. What's wrong with these Democrats? Then early in the morning on July 1st, I got this email back from the Attorney General's office saying how they gonna report it. They gonna send it to the Attorney General Liz Merle. Telling me to call them if I have anything else to report, and they gave me this website. I would like to meet her one day. And then in the evening, this was on the news from the Attorney General.
Our Attorney General Liz Merle is slamming a plan from the NOPD that could keep guns out of most of the French Quarter when the new concealed carry law takes effect in New Orleans.
She also says the NOPD could face legal action if the department goes through with it. Now, we previously reported that the NOPD opened a vocational training school in the 8th District. NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick told us that would create a firearm-free zone within 1,000 feet of the area, a standard for schools across the state. The Attorney General released a statement saying the city cannot avoid state law by unilaterally designating police stations VOTEC locations. She went on to say, quote, that the NOPD will likely be subject to civil rights lawsuits if it arrests people using its, quote, made-up designation.
Louisiana Attorney General Liz Merle says not so fast to the NOPD's attempt to create a gun-free zone in the French Quarter by designating the 8th District Police Station as a school. Yesterday, Chief Ann Kirkpatrick announced the district station on Royal Street would offer training classes for officers, in effect making it a vocational school. By doing that, the city hoped to enforce a state law that prohibits guns within 1,000 feet of the school, which would be a big chunk of the French Quarter. Merle released a statement saying that action clearly is not legal.
Mr. Joshua Gus, followed by Mr. Morgan. Mr. Gus first, and then Mr. Morgan.
I see crime is now down in New Orleans. I thought you Democrats say if we let people carry guns without a permit, that'll cause a huge spike in crime. See, y'all are wrong as always. With the new constitutional carry bill in New Orleans, crime went down, not up. Anyway, nice try again by trying to turn the French Quarter into a 1,000 feet gun-free zone, by trying to add a school to the 8th District Police Station. When I saw that, I made sure that illegal shit got reported to our Attorney General Liz Merle on that day. And I appreciate Liz for replying back to my email, taking my report, and slamming back on New Orleans and Chief Ann Kirkpatrick the very next day. Because Liz Merle didn't believe me until I showed her videos from our local news. Come on, New Orleans, wake up and get involved when these devils try to take away your constitutional rights with illegal shit. My name is Joshua Gus, and I'm a proud member of the NRA. So, New Orleans, You can try again on this to turn the French Quarter into a gun-free zone if you're looking for another fight. This stuff will not work while I'm here until the Falcons win the Super Bowl. Never. And Lesmer, I'd like to thank you again for taking my report and slamming back on New Orleans the very next day. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do hope the Falcons never win the Super Bowl. Thank you. Mr. Morgan.
This right here is what those devil Democrats is trying to make a school. It will not work. A police station cannot be a school. No matter how hard these devil Democrats try, it will not work. A police station can't be a school. I'm going to keep reporting their ass. I'm going to keep fighting for my rights and reporting their ass.